Every talking head will tell you everything's fine. It's the blind leading the blind. Yeah, it's a circus out here. We're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on. Well, the world's strongest man just dropped the ball, and the tent's caving in from the weight of it all. Yeah, the lion's at the cage, puppets in a rage, and the ringleader's on parade. It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Come on! This is the greatest show on earth! Restore the flame!
It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Too afraid to come out and stand up for your rights against these people. These guys are following orders. It's not their fault. They have to be here.
Stand down! We are asking don't detain an overcrowded, ill-equipped facility to be released. Go home! We are asking
I feel like all these things are like,
overcrowded facilities to be.
that's why you can show up.
Let them go through the process.
I was like, you're not going to change the narrative.
Right. Like we have proof.
Not created to detain people at this scale.
This is not a prison. Sir, I really like your mustache. Can you come over here and talk to me?
¡Hey, Ice! ¡Vales pa' pura rieta, güey!
Yeah, I feel like I don't have any beef with the Knicks. Like, I don't like any of the other teams. I hate ball. I hate ball. Hate ball. Yeah.
From when I was with my friend retired,
Yeah.
That's fan though, so I might as well handle it.
Yeah,
Thank you for the gifts, guys. Appreciate the gifts.
Yeah, that's a tough. Yeah, that link. That's not a good.
No, not a good mix. Not a good mix.
I went to school in South Jersey, so like I became cool with Eagles fans. But even that was like
It's different.
some from my family.
Yeah, that's just like, yeah, I whip it.
You need to be down here.
And I was rooting for the Knicks because again, it's not the beef, but
Hey, what's so funny? Hey, frijolero, what's so funny? Hey, what's so funny, frijolero? This ain't funny. Hey, nada está chistoso, compa, deja de reírse. Nada cuesta gracia ahorita, puto. Usted sabe. No tiene por qué estar riéndose, güey.
Él es Don Rómulo. Él es el que nos va a detener por nuestros brazos.
¡Váyase adentro!
todos por apoyarnos ahorita en esos momentos tan difíciles. Tengan mucho cuidado, si no quieres abrir la puerta, no la abras, si no tienes que ir a algo especialmente, no vayas, mejor quédate
He
en
wants
casa.
to tweet about this.
Thank you, Trey Hatfield. Thank you, Jinx Raw. Thank you, Blasphemous Fairy, Silva 110, Tots, Carry On 420, Angela SF, Lewis, Jedi Kimian, Miss Yuke, That Kid, U of L, Laura, Jessica, Nick, Whitney. Thank you all for being here as long as you have. Much appreciated. Thank you for the gifts. Thanks, you guys. Much appreciated. Thank you for sharing this out. Thanks for the follows and the likes as well. We appreciate you being here just as much as we appreciate all these people being here, standing up to Trump and his tyranny. We have U.S. citizens in the basement of this building right now. U.S. citizens are being detained.
This is not new.
Along with the people that are going through the legal process of becoming citizens and showing up for their hearings and their appointments, and they're getting arrested when they show up for those appointments. They're doing things the right way, and they're getting arrested, and they're being put in this basement. They're being put in this basement, taken away. Their family, nobody knows where they're even at. They just disappear, and then they get deported.
What's the third term? He has done that.
I see you, see me.
About political
You
parties.
see me as a human, right?
This is about being a human and creating the society we want. It's not about the labels. Our capitalist society.
I don't know what those sticks are for.
They
Y'all don't have sticks, but
And we can say no more.
probably when they take you down in the
We
basement
have
here,
that power.
you get the stick.
We have that power. We are the people.
You with the glorious mustache. Come over here. Stand down. Stand with us. Your beautiful mustache, and you must come over here and talk to me. You don't have to be here.
That explains what. Sure.
You don't have to be here.
Thank you for the roses, guys. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot to us. Even those of you that
Sign up for the card.
aren't happy about us being here, I'm glad you're here as well. You deserve to be heard as well.
¿Dónde está la fuerza?
They're not doing much about cars. I saw some cars parked in the red zones. They weren't doing shit about them. Excuse me. People are still coughing from the tear gas that they shot at us last night. Gets kicked up. You can see the marks. We were here protesting last night and peacefully protesting just like we are here. And as we approach, you can see all the marks of the tear gas that they shot us. As we're coming up the street, they just started firing tear gas at us. And then they closed off this street here. They closed off that street there, contained us, and we escaped right there. Jumped up, went into the subway, then we came out at the next stop. So I don't think anybody got arrested, but they were moving in on us. So all these marks here on the pavement, this is all the tear gas that they shot at us last night. And it's getting kicked up, and people are still coughing from it. As these cars pass by, the residue from it.
And somehow he would like to have
Back
some
up in the air.
sympathy. I was here last night and they sprayed me with gas, so I'm back today for some more. Hail.
No, according to some of the commenters, this is a riot. Oh shit!
What the fuck?
Well,
No.
opposing
It
to
was an
others,
SUV
this
that
is a
just-
riot. Crash.
No. He just turned.
That way?
Yeah, he just turned down that way. There's a black SUV. I don't know what this guy is. He's got all blackout windows. Did he hit you? Got you. Yeah, he turned down that way. More of those peaceful Trump supporters throwing bottles at the peaceful protesters here. Hit this guy's car.
This is all LA, I believe.
That's your Trump supporters, people. Representative Maxine Waters was here earlier. Hopefully you guys caught that part of my live with
Yeah, it's
Maxine
live.
Waters.
We have been tear gassed. We have been smashed by
Very nice to see her come out.
They parked in the middle of a street and threw tear gas in the middle of a street. You can put your shields down. You can throw tear gas. Go ahead.
All right.
I actually had
shields are down
148 topping mine out. I ended up with like 38,000 views. It was a pretty good night.
They put their shields down.
Tear gas.
Fools
Don't know what
had
that
like,
means, but
I don't know, 17,000 people over on Twitter watching.
When cookies and cream found
Crazy.
Hershey's, this triggered something crunchy
I hate
Creamy.
commercials.
and really tasty. You're gonna fall hard for it. Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
Taco Bell's
We just have to wait.
$5, $7, and $9 Lux
We just have to wait through the commercial.
whole world of
Hold, please.
tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted flavor of the Cantina chicken burrito.
Hey, way up,
For
dude.
less,
What's up?
Choose your Lux Cravings
If I
box
missed
only
anybody
at
that
Taco
came
Bell.
in, hey. I'm sorry.
Starting at $399.99. Some say you can't have it all. Clearly, they've never been here.
Yeah, I never
Here,
planned
every
it,
world,
Ma.
every
It just
story
kind of,
is too good
it
to
was
miss.
totally
This
organic.
is
I
where
mean,
unbelievable shows up to play.
it was a last minute decision on the guy's part. And
This place,
I
is
just
different
kind of
from the rest.
piggybacked in with
Once you're
them
it,
and
there's no
voila.
going back. Play the unmissable on PlayStation 5. Rated RP2M.
I will, Lays.
What?
I'll check that out. I'll write it down.
Our Democrats have been.
yeah, maybe because the bottle was thrown, they might have put the shield down. But the bottle was thrown at us, not at them. So this is Men's Central Jail.
Out of LA! Ice out of LA!
You know they're watching.
Out of LA! Ice out of LA! Ice out of LA!
Here, you can put a hat on him.
Ice out of LA!
Put a hat on that fool.
Ice out of LA!
Right. It's okay, the illegals are there, but we gotta get ICE out of there.
Ice out of LA! 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 Ice out of LA!
That chanting
Last
shit
night-
drives me insane.
At the protest.
Justice!
LAPD, they put all the Mexican cops at
Quiet.
the front of the line, and all the white cops were kicking back in the
Like
background. I don't know if they think that helps, putting the
Mouth down.
Mexican cops out.
Out of LA!
spoke with us. They were responsive. You know, people were asking them, you know, the name and badge numbers and stuff, and they responded to that. You know, it didn't get bad until they got in the vehicle. They were dispersing, and they charged in their vehicles at some of the protesters, and then kind of got out of hand after that. But they were running away, so cops dispersed.
Hey, curator, how are you?
What's going on over here? Oh, that's Maxine Waters. Let's go back and see the Maxine.
Oh, Lord.
So Maxine Waters out here trying to figure out what David Huerta, who is being detained now. Who is David Huerta? David Huerta is the president of the union, the big union. It's SELU, I believe. He came out and was trying to block CBP vehicles that ended up being detained. He is still under arrest. So she's out here trying to find out.
That's guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States. And I'm hopeful that that will happen.
She looks like she could already be dead, just standing up.
All of the power that
What in the hell?
to make sure that people are just not mistreated.
Have you ever
treated improperly?
Have you ever seen something like this before where Congress people are not being allowed in?
No, as a matter of fact, even in the recent problem that was in New Jersey.
Hey, Ron.
Where
Long
they
time no
had
see.
a bit of a problem with who was supposed to be able to go and who was not. The mayor didn't have the authority, but the 3 members of Congress were there had the authority to go in and see what was going on at a detention center.
You mentioned guns. You mentioned.
I want the press to focus on the gun. I want the press to show the gun so people can understand what kind of a situation we're in where guns are being brought into our city.
Oh no, the big bad G.
Standing watch at a detention center and looking at our protesters as if somehow they are violating the law. They're not. They are peaceful protesters outside. And I am afraid that one of those young people might get upset, might something go wrong, and those guns will go off. A gun will go off. Those guns are not to be here, frightening and intimidating our people and anybody in this city.
What's your message to the White House?
My message to the White House is, Trump, I wish I could tell you you should be ashamed, but you have no shame. You are a dishonorable, dirty, cruel, crooked human being. And you have tried to intimidate the city of LA. You don't like us. We are a sanctuary city. And if you had anything right in your head, you would call it off. But you're not going to call it off. I know what you want. You want martial law. You want to be able to use the power of the presidency
I hate
show
that bitch
that
too.
you can do whatever you want to do. And so we don't want any martial law here. We don't need it. We don't need any guns here. And if I thought for 1 minute that you would change your mind, then I would say, please change your mind. But it's going to take the people in huge numbers telling you,
Hey,
you better
Bobby Lee.
change your mind because this is
Where
not
is her handler?
This is our fucking community, and we will fight for it if we have to.
Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets?
I didn't see that, Ron. Damn. Hey, Callie.
Whose streets? Whose streets?
Straight up, Callie.
Does anyone have that feeling that we And civilians are standing by, unarmed, saying that undocumented people matter in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And apparently, that is such a big problem. So, no justice. No peace. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No
peace.
pizza. No pizza. No pizza. No pizza.
Police.
I hate Canton. It drives me so crazy. I'd rather hear him
Thank
sing
you very
it.
much. That's really nice. Thank you.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This
Welcome,
is what
Tom.
democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy
Like a bunch of cheerleaders. Rah, rah, ree. I don't know how he does it either. Straight up, I don't know if I'll make it through an hour. Hey, bestie. Mindless bots, exactly.
That's right.
Maybe that's why they're masks, hiding their faces, because possibly they know they're on the wrong side of history. The side of history where America is slowly declining. We have a villain in office, but yet he sends the National Guard. What is that about? That screams dictatorship.
And that's what happened. Let's get on the street. Let's find out where the National Guard are. Let's find out what's happening at the city. Let's go into Lennox. Let's go to Paramount and watch and find out what's going on. This is dangerous. They're sending the National Guard here. The governor didn't know anything about this. He did not agree to this. And so when you go into Watson, to Lennox, and to Paramount, and these areas, what you're doing, I think, is trying to allow Trump to call out the martial law that he wants to do. That's what he really wants. But our people cannot be goaded into that. They must see their elected officials here standing up for them and saying to Trump, get out of here, you don't belong here, leave the protesters alone, they're peaceful, do not shoot them, do not do that, because I think that's what he's doing.
Congressman, just yesterday, some of your colleagues tried to gain access to the Metropolitan Presidential Center here to conduct their oversight.
Fuck yourself. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck you as well.
Yes.
Well, I just left.
I resemble that remark.
Like some officials going into the building, and so I ran behind them to ask them and to show them that I'm a member of Congress, and I want to know what is happening in David World. And what can I do? Can I see them? If they wouldn't let me in.
They didn't let you in?
No, they shut the door.
Did they identify themselves? Do you know who they
No,
were?
they just said.
I don't know what they're waiting for, Bobby. Seriously.
Okay, so this is the second time in 2 days that sitting members of Congress have not been allowed access to a federal facility that by law, it's my understanding they're supposed to be. So what do you make of that?
What I make of it is they're following the orders of Trump who defies the law.
I think why her eyes look so heavy, as they are, those eyelashes are probably like a couple pounds apiece.
The Trump administration, I just got a statement from Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin with Homeland Security. As a member of the press, I asked her for comment on some of what's happening. She and other members of the administration are characterizing these protests as violent, as riots, and describing the need for the National Guard as essentially necessary for keeping public order. How do you respond to that?
I respond to it that everybody I've asked says they're lying. They have no example of any protesters being violent, I'm told. And so I believe the people rather than them.
Are you going to make further efforts to access either this or other
Literally,
federal
when she
pension
blinks,
to find Mr. Whitmer
it
or-
causes like a wind tunnel, like poof, every time she blinks.
What it did last night. They issued tear gas out in these communities. I'm worried about what they possibly can do or what they
Oh Lord, way up.
I may try to come back. I'm going to
Come
try
on.
and call more elected officials to come out here because of the I'm really frightened about the gun. I think one of these young kids might get excited, might get frightened, and might use those guns. Just read about it.
Final question. So I was reading about the history a little bit today. The last time that a president activated a state's national guard in contravention of that state's governor's wishes was in 1965 when LBJ activated the Alabama National Guard in contravention of Governor Wallace's wishes in order to protect marchers with civil rights. This is the first time since then. Obviously, very different circumstances. How do you feel about this just as a historical moment?
Well, as a historical moment, what I'm saying to a lot of people is we discovered something in the civil rights movement that if we use our voice, if we march,
Yeah, no problem. Will you send me an email? You have my email?
and made the sacrifice to be their life crossing the Edwin Pettus Bridge down. But that we won something. We won the right to vote. We continue to open up opportunities for people who have been discriminated against historically. And that's what I think can happen here. This is a street fight. We're on the street, protesting, making the voices heard. Yes, we have some undocumented who we would love to be citizens, would love to use the Constitution to make applications accepted. Many of them will never get to that point. But many of them still work, they pay taxes, they have families, they're contributing to the economy, and they should not be treated as if they're criminals. I know the president made some horrible remarks about immigrants once during his campaign, calling them rapists and murderers and all of that. But the president is a dishonorable, cruel man who doesn't care about any of these people, about any of us, only about himself. He's all about money, and he will align himself with foreign countries on crypto. I could go all into what he's doing there in order to continue to be successful. But about this, he's feeding the lie to the MAGA people and the right wingers that he is going to get rid of all these people in this country who are causing them not to do what they want to do.
Hey, girl. What's up, Mike? It is. It's Maxine Water and her windy lashes.
I think we're going to go to Lennox and Paramount to see if ICE is out there.
And the way she's walking, I'm not sure, but she might have pooped. Or she's drunk.
This douchebag here is trying to tell me where to stand. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Dumbass. Excuse me.
She is terrible.
Guy's got a short man's complex.
So they got it all?
Tiny
Probably.
man.
Pay somebody to wipe her
Stand.
butt.
Motherfucker. You can't stand here. Stand over here. Fuck you, dude.
Unidades grandes de antidrogas que vienen también
Hello, Bino. Right, California is gone, Ike. We ought to just cut it off and give it to Mexico at this point. Either that or just get street sweepers and start at the north end of it and push everything all the way down to Mexico or off into the ocean.
That Ginger Urka, yeah, thank you. This is what happens when you give a fuck. A lot of people here in the comments don't give a fuck. You feel quite the opposite, which is fine. Everybody's slowing down to take a look, take a shot.
Right? Like a sporting event. I still swear, this military and last night, the cops, they look more like girl team than cops. Like, okay, everybody 10 feet apart exactly. Kick your flag. Oh, Callie's draining her noodles. Yeah, Bobby, I think they destroyed the whole damn
Thank
state
you.
at this point. I mean, the northern part of the state's all right, but it's still held together with the laws of the whole state. So, no, I don't want to. Don't make me. You make me shoot from my knife.
Stuff like this. And then you guys have to let
Yeah.
It's fucking. This government is nothing but fucking trash. Straight the fuck up. We need a fucking reboot.
Thanks, man. Got 5,000 viewers right now.
Hell yeah. One more mission.
All right, go work.
This government is
Oh,
also
girl.
involved in
I see what
nothing
you're
but fucking
talking about.
stalking. Straight the fuck up. They're fucking stalkers, and they're gonna fucking stalk the shit out of you, right?
What in the hell is wrong with that dude?
Government is trash. Straight the fuck up, man.
You've been biking for a while, man. You need a snack or anything? We got mochi. Blueberry and mango.
Yeah, thank you.
Mango was good.
Just take no way. I'd never do that.
Oh, yeah, well, I
You
can't right
keep
now.
that
Fucking
thing.
We need to get out of these motherfuckers' ass right here. Straight the fuck up.
Can't let up.
People got away with way too much shit, huh? A lot of fucking shit.
I gotta say that I just don't know that something like this does anything besides destroy cities. Right, if you like that fucking Mexican flag, then get your ass on back on down to Mexico, bitch. Someone said last night, how'd they like it if we took American flags and flew them around Mexico? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be too hot on that.
ICE is purposely they hide their face They say they're protecting and serving. National Guard.
You do know her husband sent her down there just to get her out of his fucking hair, right? He's home. He ain't even there.
When the cameras are rolling, get closer. Get closer. Get closer. Get closer.
Okay,
this is our
the
taxes
stick.
going to waste. Get closer. We pay taxes.
Go ahead, get closer, dummy. Walk right up on him.
Now the world is watching. So be careful what you do. This is how we build coalition. This is how we build democracy with media. If it wasn't for media, America would have fallen a long time ago. I believe that's the best trick. Gentlemen, you guys step back. We need you to step back.
Why are you?
I can't help but dance every time I hear it now.
A little bit. Back up there, you guys were.
Help us out here.
You're in the 9.
I like this dude.
Hey, they were using tear gas. They were using tear gas on us last night. What are you guys going to use on us? You guys don't have tear gas. You only have bullets.
They're gonna save your lungs.
We're still coughing from the tear gas. You see the tear gas? What are you guys going to use against us?
Fuck around and find out.
You're going to use that or the stick? We were peaceful last night, and they shot us with tear gas.
Oh, I'm looking. Yep, just got it.
You guys don't have tear gas. All you got is that and a stick.
What the fuck are you doing? This is not due process and you know it! What the hell is this? You're fucking Americans, aren't you? This is not constitutional!
Go on. Her husband sent her down there too. All these men just sent their wives down there. They went, oh my God, thank God it's protest season again.
How do you do this?
This bitch out of my hair.
Put down your weapons, don't follow these fucking fascists!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
And yet, these are the people that are peaceful!
Oh,
You are the
Lord.
ones with the guns!
What in the hell is she wearing?
What are the old for? What the fuck are you gonna do? We're not afraid of you! Jesus
Is she
Christ!
cocooning or what?
We are not afraid of you! You are one of us!
Bless you. What in the... she's a dinosaur. It shows.
This is not constitutional! You are following illegal orders! You are disobeying your oath!
Keep going, keep going.
Keep going, keep going. Oh, Lord.
What the fuck?
No good cops in a racist system!
Oh, you're scared of a 61-year-old woman in a dinosaur suit? What the fuck
You know,
is wrong with you?
I just sent it to you,
What
cowboy.
the fuck is wrong with you? You are
Well,
Americans!
I hope it's really you, cowboy. I think it is.
Defend
people. Like, give you a ring. Andy. Hey, airbag, how are you? Oh, you walked into Batty going crazy. Look, her old man slapped her right before he sent her. Did you see the side of her mouth? No, don't go, Andy.
We do.
You're right. Why is she in a dinosaur suit? I don't get it.
What she signed up for?
Fucking cowards! All y'all fucking cowards!
Hey, Raptic.
Stay tight! Stick together! Stay tight! Stick together! Stay tight! Stick together! Stay tight!
Hey.
One day I want
Look
to
at
ace
there.
my serve.
It came just in
One
time.
day I want to fill
Just
my
in time, huh?
passport. One day
In
I
time
want to
for the
nail my
commercial.
skincare routine. So I
Yep,
make healthy
yep, yep.
choices and take a multivitamin
How are ya?
designed for women.
Doing good.
One
Well,
a
while
day
the
is a
commercials are on,
multivitamin
I
designed
guess
for
it's a
every
good time to
woman's
talk.
one
'Cause
day.
I
We're
do
here
enjoy
for
hearing
you.
what they have
Made
to
for
say.
you for life.
But,
to add one a day multivitamins
the
to your
Democrats
cart,
were
just
saying
say Alexa add to
that
cart.
it was illegal
That's
for
Alexa
Donald
add to
Trump
cart.
to call in the National Guard in the state of California. It's a state thing. And my thoughts in reply is, Donald Trump's the commander in chief. I mean, he can do this. There shouldn't be an argument about it, you know?
Yep.
I dare you. So,
Well, and I think that's what they keep forgetting.
right. Well, they want to make California the wrong state.
Your home from anywhere.
The wrong
Learn
country,
more
I
at
mean.
ring.com.
Yeah, well, and I mean, Newsom he's been able to do just exactly what he's wanted, and so now he's
Shape up
getting
your
some
outdoor
pushback, and
space
he don't
with
like
Craftsman.
that.
Light
Yeah.
and quiet battery power with up to 75 minutes of runtime.
Well, I'm out here in
Achieve a
Texas, and
clean,
it's going to
crisp
get
finish.
interesting to see if it
Quickly
comes out
slow
here to
first your
Texas.
track and get on with your weekend.
And if it does happen, it's going to be Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas. Yeah, it's going to get real interesting. This what's going on.
Put those sticks up your asses!
That's weird. If I turn down I'm just learning my whole new system here. And if I turn down my volume on my keyboard, for some reason it turns you down. Mayo, send me an email.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
And this is live?
Yeah.
Stick together, stay tight.
Supposedly, the guy that's doing it anyway says it's like I didn't even put this together. I'm basically fucking off somebody on Twitch because I have no idea how to do it like Wolf and Portland Andy do it. I don't know how to do it.
No, this is fine. Good.
Yeah, the biggest thing is getting that information out there. So, and I was just basically coming on and trying out my whole new digs here and making sure how it all runs. Whether it's last night we were streaming a lot from Kick. I also wanted to try Twitch out and see how it worked with my new computer.
Yeah.
She did put the dino suit on. Can you imagine how hot that is?
Yeah. Thank goodness. It's cooler than it is here in Texas, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's noon there in California, so I'm sure it's pretty warm. I'm not warm here in Oregon. Wolf is streaming 24/7, probably Black Diamond. Is he streaming?
Well, they got some foul language.
the people. To help us.
There you go, ma'am.
Not beat us or shoot us. To be able to watch and fine and go inside peacefully. On my land.
Oh, does it say it's only 67? Wow, it's warmer than that here, isn't it, Ike?
It belongs to my ancestors. It doesn't belong to any of you. I can't walk in peace in my own land.
84. 87. Here.
Be proud, say, I was American.
Yeah, it's 87 here. Damn. At 96.
America's only number one in one
Thank
fucking
God,
thing
Gracie.
around the world. Prisons and incarceration. That's the only thing we're number one in. Back to the plane. Fuck your barrier.
Hey, man, can you just show your face so I know it's you and not some weirdo stupid shit? I'm pretty sure it's you, but.
The guy with the guitar was testing.
He said please, so I took a step back.
Okay, man. You don't have. Oh, there you go. Okay. Perfect, then. Thank you. Hey, man.
Yes, I'm a real boy.
You're right. I just want to make sure. I'm going to check the mic screen.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Hello,
There.
man.
How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Just watching this. It's going to be an interesting summer, that's for sure.
Yep. I have a feeling. I just thought I'd try this all out. I'm hoping LW will start doing these streams, and so we can get people pushed to him.
It's going to be an interesting 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking with a friend who's she's actually my best friend. She lives in the middle of Florida. Her and her husband are pretty liberal, and she got on the phone with me and just uncorked, and she's like, this is affecting my job. Her and her husband put those pool cages together. You know, the frames that they put over pools?
Yeah.
Well, they put those together and they make them cut it all of stuff. Well, she's out of a job right now because of tariffs. And so she is just furious with Trump. And I just said to her, you know, dude, for 4 years we all floated on nothing. We didn't know why the stock market was where it was at. It was like somebody was just shoving a bunch of money in there. Nothing made sense at all for the last 4 years. I knew we were going to have to pay the piper at some point. Now we have to pay the piper. Now it comes into effect. I know tariffs suck, but why is it that we're the only ones that don't charge tariffs like everybody else does? It's bullshit. We have to pay for our stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it that our health care is so expensive so that, you know, the Europeans can have theirs cheap? I don't think that's fair.
Well, it's just like with the environmental stuff, right? How come India and China are out manufacturing us but still go under third world rules?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
As far as emissions and all that. They're at least on par, if not past us, so they should have to live by the same rules.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because of those politicians are making a profit off it.
Exactly. Both sides.
Yep.
You know, Democrats get the demographics and the people counted in the census for seats and positions, and Republicans get the cheap labor.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the trade-off for 30 years, ever since Reagan did the amnesty to end all amnesties, and the Democrats never came back on the border security side of that bill. Most people don't even remember the 86 amnesty. Don't know the story behind it, none of it.
Mm-mm.
Refreshing us about that.
Reagan made a deal with the Democrats that in exchange for amnesty, mostly, and at the time it was mostly Mexican illegals, They gave amnesty to every illegal immigrant that was in the United States. In exchange for that was supposed to be money for border security, which the Democrat Congress never approved.
Right.
So they got their amnesty, but Reagan never got a security.
Mm.
And that's why you don't deal with, because you know the Democrats are going to try the same thing again because it worked last time. Why wouldn't they?
Well, they just went ding, ding, ding. Oh, we can get more votes.
Yeah.
What did they call it?
It was the Reagan amnesty. It's supposed to be the last amnesty for illegals ever.
And really, his whole purpose of that was to help the small businessmen with labor. That was really
and we added, and let's admit, we had a different class of migrant worker then too. That a lot of them were mainly in agriculture, which now I think only 15% are.
Yeah.
You know, most of them were agricultural visa overstays who originally came in legally and just overstayed their agricultural visas.
Oh, definitely.
And started staying year round.
Then they started learning our trades and doing all kinds of other stuff. And you have investors building more and more. And I know here in Dallas, I mean, it takes 10 years to build 10 miles from what I've seen so far, you know, and, you know, they have those jobs. So,
and they ran the Americans out of the markets. Like when I first moved to Wichita, I had a kid working his way through college, and he ran his own lawn care business, right?
Yeah.
He would get my whole yard done, edged everything, in 18 minutes. And it was like $35, right?
Yep.
But the illegals ran him out of the business because they could undercut him. Because they weren't paying business taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not paying all the requirements of employees. So he got run out of the business. Because they would literally follow him around and offer $20 to his customers.
Exactly. That's where it started. You're talking about basically the beginning of it.
Yeah. Well, and just like most people don't realize, right? McDonald's, their whole work program was designed around high school kids and retirees. Their entire employment model was high school kids and retirees. If there was anybody in that restaurant between the age of 40 and 20, it was most likely the one manager of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because during the day, during the week, the retirees worked. And at nights on the weekends, the high school kids worked.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I've kind of said for a long time that as Americans, we best quit being so lazy, because I can tell you that every Mexican I ever hired had at least 2 jobs, probably 3. And they pushed themselves to get something, to get where they were. They worked hard. They did work very, very hard. And then I would have white people that be like, well, I want my 5 days a week, and I only want to work Monday through Friday, and I want the cushy job, and let me have this, and can I have that? I mean, it's kind of bullshit that I mean, I do believe that you need to work for what you want. And if we get rid of everybody that's from another country, we are going to have to work harder.
So. But right, the way agriculture visas used to work, right? The farmer applied. He says he needs to hire 300 people for his picking season from, say, August to October, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would get his visas. He would get his names from a labor agency in Mexico. He would charter a bus to pick them up at the border, bring them to his farm. He would house them, feed them, and pay them while they were here, and at the end of picking season, and as the work fell off, he would return them back to the border. And they would go back over, use the money they made in America to live for the next 6-8 months, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That system still exists.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not followed anymore. Nobody forces the farmers to follow it. Because guess what? If that farmer got 300 permits, visas, and 50 of them stayed, guess what he didn't get the next year? Those 50 workers. So he was invested into ensuring that these people were taken care of and returned to the border.
And they wouldn't.
Well, they just stopped following the law. I mean, make what's that program where you verify citizenship online?
Oh, are the I-9 one?
No.
Or you mean the one that Biden got going?
No, it's a computer. It's an online program. It's been in place since the 80s on verifying U.S. workers.
Yeah, E-Verify.
Yeah, E-Verify. It's been online for damn near 30 years.
And
enforce it. Make it mandatory and enforce it. It's not that hard.
So
because the other thing they don't get, I had a friend of mine who tried to retire, right? Well, at the end of his first retirement year drawing his Social Security, he got billed like $30,000 by the IRS because 5 people were using his Social Security number illegally.
Yeah, that was a bad problem back in the 80s and early 90s with Social Security.
It's still a problem, but it's just easier now since it's all computerized now. It's easier to take care of, but you're still on the hook for that money until you have to do the work to find out that there's 5 people paying into your Social Security. You have to make the appointment. You have to go to the Social Security office. Because that's the other thing they should be charging everyone with that's working under somebody else's Social Security number is identity theft. Because that's what it is. I mean, in the existing laws, everything exists to manage this successfully. You just have to have the political will to do it.
Yeah, that I'm sure that's a fight within itself, in the Congress. But going on to add to all that, my problem is that when I lived in Dallas, that was one of the main reasons why I moved to East Texas was because there's too many problems that are. Did you want to say something, Gutter?
No.
Okay. Such as insurance. I've had a family member that got rear-ended. The guy didn't have insurance. He drove away, never showed up for court, blah, blah, blah. Our cars always get stolen. There's always theft and robbery and just, criminal activity altogether.
Well, and the states capitulated to it.
Yeah.
Because you used to have to be a citizen to get a driver's license here. But in most states now, you don't have to be. You don't even have to be here legally to get a driver's license. Because they said it would stop stuff like that. But it hasn't. But they can still get licenses.
Well, they're cracking down on the CDLs now, finally.
It's about time. They're also cracking down on the A&P licenses, finally.
A&P as far as airplanes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, by
because
the
that's
way,
another English requirement.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Mayo is an airplane mechanic. Mayo, homegrown, is an airplane mechanic. And guess what, guys? My husband's an airplane mechanic.
Yeah.
How ironic.
There you go. Well, since you brought it up, I'm gonna do this. Gutters Pub. Let's see here. I'm gonna present you an airplane that we're building for the border and hitting these cartels, but you don't,
Oh, nice.
We'll keep
You working on the fun side of aviation?
Yeah. Yeah. There it is, Gutter. You think that you're like, okay, this is a crop duster. Well, think again.
Oh, wow.
My former boss is the one who was building them in Australia for the foreign market.
Oh, you're talking about Peregrine.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Peregrine, yeah.
Yeah, I was BW Air from 06 to 09.
Okay. Yeah, we've been building Gulfstream planes for Australia.
Yeah.
So,
you building up the defense ones?
Yes, the surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, and we're going to get that Qatar plane at the end of this month. So
nice.
Wow.
Oh yeah, those that's what the Air Force should be buying for today's battlefield.
Yeah, those are
F-35s. Oh yeah, those things they're that's a rough airframe.
Yeah.
They can take a beating.
Yeah, these particular right here, they're just they're nasty. They got cameras on them.
Oh yeah.
They have
rockets.
Yeah, I mean, you name it. They've got all kinds of weapons, and yeah. So.
Oh yeah, it's a great platform for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they're made with because they're crop dusters and they have a constantly moving payload. Mm-hmm. They're made to be very stable in any configuration as far as weight and balance goes.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is the weight and balance. We've had to also manufacture our own parts, and we do the weights as well.
Yeah.
We CNC the weights, and every plane's just about different. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's one thing robots will never be able to build is aircraft. I guarantee you that.
Right.
When Marv first got his pilot's license and started doing his AMP, his dad made him promise him that he would not do crop dusting. So he's not allowed to fly a crop duster. So that's the one thing he couldn't do.
Yeah.
He's actually out flying now.
I never had the desire to fly, believe it or not.
I did, but I will not fly commercial now. Because of the state of my profession.
Yep. You guys know what they're sticking. You guys will appreciate this story. So Marv works for a regional airline, and it probably won't take. I think Homegrown, I believe, already knows which one, but I don't mention names. So since this reduction in standards, since COVID, these new planes, they have the ERJs and they have all the computer stuff and all that. Well, on the logbooks, you know how they put their little sticky notes everywhere to all these deferred maintenance items that need to be deferred.
Yeah, the illegal ones.
Yeah. Well, the entire logbooks are now basically filled with these deferred maintenance sticky notes. So
yeah.
Marvin, they start putting them on the outside of it, and Marvin started taking Band-Aids and putting on them and then writing on the Band-Aids, basically proving the point to them that, we're just Band-Aiding shit here. Oh boy, were they pissed. They were so mad.
And they're not listed officially on the MELs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and people don't realize how dangerous that shit is, because at 30,000 feet, you can't pull over.
Yeah, when people are so quick, they're like, what do you mean? You have free flight benefits and you don't fly? Hell no. I have an airplane and I don't get in it. You know why? Because I don't trust the people that they've actually gave pilot's licenses to, that have no business being in the air.
Yep.
Hell no, I'm not getting in the air.
Yeah.
No, because it's turned into a rich man's sport, not a qualified man's sport.
That's right.
Yeah, well, you have these engineers that come in and they say, you know, we want to invent something new and stuff, and they're getting a little bit too fancy. They just need to stay, you know, standard. If that makes any sense, keep it simple. And the 737 Max was an example of that. They tried to get too fancy with it, and it ended up killing people. So,
well, they took a plane, the basic frame of a plane, and instead of recertifying a whole new plane, they modified it to the point where it's not aerodynamically sound.
Yeah.
They made it so big around and so long just because they don't want to certify a new airframe.
Yeah.
And then you have companies like Bombardier go in the complete other route.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trashing a successful product line for all these new manufacturing techniques and just turning out crap for planes.
Is Bombardier an American plane built in Canada, or is that all Canada?
Nothing, I believe, is built stateside anymore. I was at the Learjet factory, and that was the last U.S. built Bombardier planes.
Wow. Okay.
And we had a 700 plane order that they turned down from the Air Force to replace their Lear 31s.
700?
700 plane order, and they turned it down because they just didn't want to make Learjets anymore, because Learjets are American made, not Canadian.
Okay.
And people don't. Bombardier likes to act like they invented aviation when they actually just bought Canadair.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they did. And Shorts and Learjet. But they actually like to think that they invented it.
Well, from what I understand, the Air Force is wanting to, or they're considering replacing the Gulfstream with the Bombardier, because the Gulfstream is not mechanical friendly, you know, as far as the mechanics.
Yeah.
They're very hard to rip apart and replace parts. And
the Challenger's not much different, sir.
Really?
I built the first 300s, Challenger 300s, and they are crap. They are crap.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do right now. I do not know, but that's the.
Well, they'll go with the Challenger. I have no doubt about that. And that Challenger will be modified here, but the base airframe will be made in Canada.
Got it.
Well, and the way the Challenger 300 works, right? We got the wing from Taiwan.
Oh shit.
We got the cockpit from Canada. We got the main body from Shorts. And we got the tail from another Southeast Asia country.
Yeah, you see.
And it was all brought to Wichita to be put together.
You see, that's not going to work with the U.S. military, because it needs to come all from the same place, or yeah. I mean, that's not going to work. So
but see, they run that just like they run. As long as 65% of the parts are made here, they call it American for automobiles.
Yeah.
So they'll just make the main body here, and they'll bring in the cockpit, the tail, and the wing, and assemble it here, and that'll meet your 65% mark.
Well, if they want to sell to the military, they need to change all that shit up and do it, you know, be more consistent. But they don't. And Boeing right now, they're so far behind that, you know, they can't keep up.
Well, Boeing needs to be scrapped. It needs to be broken up and sold off and made into different companies. It's too big of a monolith.
Yeah, well, didn't they buy McDonnell Douglas back in the day?
Yep. They destroyed McDonnell Douglas, who actually bought Hughes and destroyed them.
Yeah, so I mean, they got a monopoly on it, and there you go.
Yeah.
But that's the only really American-made plane that we can deal with. So, I mean, what do you do? Look at Airbus? Fuck. I mean,
Lockheed's not making commercial aircraft anymore.
Right.
It's pretty much Canadair, Boeing,
Airbus.
And guess what? In 20 years, it's all going to be made in China anyway, because we're literally giving them the tech.
Yeah, well, somebody needs to cut that off.
Oh, yeah. Because aviation jobs are good paying jobs.
Well, that might be one of the reasons why Trump gave Boeing all those jets, the contract with the jets. So,
well, you're kind of stuck with two manufacturers right now in the U.S. If you want defense stuff in large amounts.
Yeah.
You're stuck with the big boys. And what do these guys do, right? They get like for the advanced rotor program to eliminate competition. Sikorsky just partnered with Boeing.
That's the helicopter, right?
No, that was the fast, the 300 mile an hour helicopter, rigid rotor.
Yeah, the helicopter.
Yeah. So they just subvert by partnering up, they just subvert the competition portion of the contract.
Which is, by the way, the president's new Marine One, right? It's that jet plane or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, no, that's like a 94. It's like a S-94 Sikorsky. Still made here, but for how much longer, who knows? Because we've licensed, Sikorsky's licensed those aircraft to be made all over the world.
Yeah.
Blackhawks included.
Well, the thing about these Air Force Ones is that they're old. And to replace all the wire and stuff in those planes is unbelievable. So that's the reason why Trump's doing what he's doing. He's the one that ordered the other two.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are. They can't even finish building until 2030 something,
Yeah.
And
they're going to have to keep modifying it.
Yeah.
Due to the current threats. That's another issue that you have with those that you don't have with normal aircraft.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they ought to put them in a smaller plane. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be able to hold all the,
it could. Nowadays, it could.
Well, I mean, like the Peregrine you were talking about, it doesn't have the capabilities as like the RJs, the Cobra ball that we build.
No, but I'm talking moving down to an RJ instead of a 767.
Okay, that I can see.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A smaller platform. I'm not talking about a Citation 10. I'm talking about a Challenger 6.
But that RJ, it's still it's packed. It's it's packed pretty good. They can take some of that stuff out and have some kind of conference room or something like that. But I don't know. I guess it could work. Work.
And it would also take all of your government out of one aircraft to take them.
Yeah.
I could have a fleet of 600s that are in constant communication.
No, they don't make the 757s anymore, right?
No, not new. I don't believe anyway.
So it's all 7. What is it? 777s and
777s, 47s, and 37s. I think, for the most part.
Oh, so they're making 7. What about the what is it? The 767?
I don't think that the 6.7 was pretty much a flop. Most of them went to cargo.
Okay. Got you.
Most of them went overseas into cargo because they got caught up in that. They came out. Oh no, I guess it's still being manufactured, but I don't think it's being manufactured in any large numbers. You know what I mean?
Demand for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're mostly cargos now. I mean, because they got caught up in that re-engineing.
Yeah.
They were right around that cutoff line where they originally had, the old jets, but they were still in service and they had that be re-engined, which cost a crap load of money.
Oh, definitely. But these planes, even commercial, going back to what you were talking about, we'll get back to the immigration here in a minute. But yeah, these planes, they're getting old. The commercial planes are getting old. I don't like flying, It's just like the TWA flight. Those wires were old. That's what blew the plane up,
Yep.
And I'm real sketchy about that crap. So.
Oh yeah, and how many times have they been rewired? Because they started with old wire, then everybody went to captain wiring, which was a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. You see, I don't know. I don't know what they do on that end as far as the civilian part. When we get a plane in, we gut it, and we redo it by our specs, and because it's it's Air Force or Army or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much it. When we make something, it's pretty much homegrown made there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So,
and that's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Because the plane I started out with at Bombardier was working the Lear 31. I worked the end of the line, did all the testing, closeouts, and all that before it went out to fly for the first time.
Okay. Are you still working on planes?
No, not currently.
Yeah, me neither. I moved into a different department, so yeah.
But if I had a fit problem, right, with a part, and I noticed it 3 planes in a row, I would come in early. I would go to building 1 and talk to the person who made the part to see what changed, right? You can't do that when somebody works in Ireland.
Right. There's a rev change revision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still building off revision 1. You're installing at revision 4.
That happens all the time. All the time with different parts.
Yeah.
And then,
but at least when everything was made in one facility, I could go back and talk to the person who made it. I could make recommendations. We had a dialogue.
Yeah, it's because the coordinators, or in some cases the planners, they don't update the system. So when the next time the other guy has to order that part, he sends it out just like it came out the last time, the last revision. Nobody updates it.
No, and QA doesn't catch it.
Right.
But at least I can go back and get it fixed easy. When they came up with Six Sigma, I got written up for going back and talking to somebody on another line. Because I should have submitted a Six Sigma project recommendation.
Well,
why? When I can go back and figure it out with the guy in 5 minutes on my own time.
When you did the Six Sigma thing, did you jump chain of command or?
When they implemented, once they implemented Six Sigma, because that's just funneling employee changes.
Yeah. To make
and paying white collars.
Yeah. And what they do, oh, I got an idea here. Yeah. Give me a bonus. Yeah. And you're the one that figured it out,
Yeah.
To make everything better. Yeah. I know exactly where you're from.
and all Six Sigma is, all Kaizen was, it's bankruptcy insurance.
You think?
And so you can say to the bankruptcy court that you tried everything.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because zero defects will never, ever exist in aviation manufacturing.
that's wild.
It's a statistical impossibility because they're so handmade.
Yeah, they are.
You know, and it's just like why we have problems with machine parts now. It's because of the built-in tolerances due to the limitations of the machines.
Mm-hmm.
That guy running that lathe 40 years ago didn't have those limitations.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have those massive gaps.
Yeah.
In tolerances. Because you figure a 90-foot plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a 10,000th gap at every connection point. How much longer is that plane?
On a
90-foot plane. If it ever at every rib station, you got a 10,000th gap. Comes up to be quite.
That's not. Yeah, that's a lot. You should.
Yeah.
What 10,000s?
Yeah, that comes out to like 6-8 inches in the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
so.
Yeah. 100,000s. Yeah, it should be 100,000s.
Yeah.
That's what to say is 100,000s, but yeah, the tolerance isn't. I mean, we don't have much give when it comes to the machinery. You know.
No, the military's anal about their aviation manufacturing still, as they should be.
Yeah.
You know, if like say in your product you have 5,000 inspection points, right?
Uh-huh.
In a civilian version of that plane, there's probably 900 inspection points.
Yeah.
That's how dedicated the military is for aviation quality.
Definitely.
And then you also can't buy them off like you can the FAA guys by taking them out to lunch, taking them on trips.
Well, I'll just tell you, that's funny that you mentioned that because my mother-in-law just had a plane crash into her field last week. And when the woman that was flying the aircraft, it was a 152, and she was having engine problems, they said. And she was trying to land in an airport that's close to my mother-in-law's pasture, but missed it and clipped an apple tree in my mother-in-law's field, and it spun the plane into the apple tree. Smashed the shit out of it, obviously, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She ended up with a concussion and a broken rib and I think broken wrist or something. But the first thing she said to my mother-in-law when my mother-in-law ripped open the door was, I shouldn't have had those 2 drinks. It was 9:30 in the morning. No investigation was ever done. None.
Oh no, they don't even show up for small accidents.
Yep.
No.
Nothing.
No.
They didn't.
No.
I mean, fuel dumped all over. They didn't give a shit about none of that. 3 young kids came and cut the airplane up, stuck it on a trailer, and hauled it out of there.
Yep.
Wow.
If it don't involve a death, it's just a paper report.
That's just nuts. Well, let me just tell you, it was about 100 feet from probably a death because my mother-in-law was sitting in her living room. And if she would have been 100 feet to the left, it would have hit my mother-in-law. And it probably would have killed her because it would have also hit the propane tank on the corner of the house.
Oh, I got a buddy who right now is doing he's doing compliance for rotorcraft for all the ADs and airworthiness and all that. And it's a nightmare for them.
You talking about the
Is right now managers are so scared to tell their bosses what they actually need that they're chasing people out of the FAA. Like his department, right? When his department had a home base, it was based in Houston. Or no, it was based in Dallas, and it was when Bell was the big manufacturer of helicopters in the U.S., which hasn't been for years.
Yeah, they're
so when they finally folded that up, they started remote work for these guys because they're a highly specialized group. Talking about, helicopters operating in, mainly in commercial space.
Yeah.
It's a very specialized in their expertise and their knowledge, right? So they started hiring people and putting them outside of the various manufacturers around the country. Like there was two guys up in Connecticut for Sikorsky. They left 3 guys in Dallas. That way it made sense because why fly people out of Dallas all the time to all these manufacturers 3-4 times a week?
Yeah.
Well, now their boss is afraid to tell his boss that, look, we've been working at home for 25 years now. So how are we supposed to transition to an office when they've never worked in an office?
Yeah.
Nobody there has ever worked in an FAA office in that, in those positions. But because everybody's overreacting, to Trump's order, and it plainly says, return to the office work, right? So just leave the guys that were working from home and working remotely the hell alone. They're not the problem.
Right.
But everybody's so afraid right now. It's the typical bureaucracy. If you were in the military, if you were in the military, the battalion says, we got to be in formation at 6 a.m. Well, company wants you there at 5:30. Your platoon leader wants you there at 5. And you wind up there an hour and a half earlier than you're supposed to be there, looking at each other, wondering why the hell we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets political. That's the bad part about it is it's turned political when it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we headed that direction that, at some point exactly, I don't know, but it definitely needs to be refined, and hopefully Trump can turn this shit around. So
oh yeah. Well, and the model where we certify aircraft also needs to be switched to the way the Europeans do it. If a manufacturer wants to certify a new aircraft, they're the ones that pay for it.
Okay.
Right now, the taxpayer's paying for it. All the FAA involvement.
Yeah.
Well,
in Europe, the manufacturers do.
I think one of the biggest things is they need to go back to the way it used to be when, like, regarding airlines and how all that flows. They need to go back to it costing, $800 for a plane ticket. And the reason I say that is because back then they took way more into account regarding safety. I think all of those things were taken into account, along with when you went, you didn't have to worry about food because you got fed on the plane. All those things were taken care of. Now they cram people into these itty bitty tiny aircraft.
Oh yeah.
They cut every corner they can. Now they don't. I mean, when it's time to fix an aircraft, there's never a part there. You have to wait to get the part in. And so what they'll do is they'll rob off of another aircraft to put it on that aircraft. And now they're down the other aircraft that they just robbed the part off of. And so now they got to wait again. And I mean, it just becomes a vicious circle. And so they're constantly trying. It's like Everything's a knee-jerk reaction at this point. Nothing
Yeah.
preventative. It's all, let's do damage control. What can we clean up that we just fucked up?
Oh yeah, that's been a problem with Army rotorcraft for 30 years. Is the aircraft that's going into inspection gets stripped of parts to bring the other aircraft up for parts that are missing.
Yep.
But the problem is those parts never go through the rigorous inspection that they would have in the phase inspection.
Let me expand on something what you guys are talking about as far as parts.
Yeah.
We had an employee that worked for us that had found, or I got a hold of one of our products. It was it's a laser guided. It's a laser, so it guides the
targeting laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was 2 other guys involved, which was in New Boston, Texas. They all 3 in cahoots. And they sold this product to 2, don't even ask, I mean, don't get me to try and say their names because I can't do it. But 2 Iranians in Iran. And they in turn sold it to apparently it was Hamas and all these other people. This is open out there. This is actually news. You just don't hear about it. You can look it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything I'm not supposed to, but what they did is they cloned that part and they made it to where they could use it on multiple weapons and this, that, and the other. 2 bad things. Those guys only got 1 year in prison, okay? Because they went to a federal judge. The federal judge in Connecticut gave them that sentence. It didn't go with a jury or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of swept under the rug. That's espionage, okay?
Oh, yeah.
That is absolutely 100% against the law, the Constitution of the United States, and everything else that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that this will blow your mind. You remember the 3 Marines that got killed in, was it Syria? Not Marines, they were Army. It was 2 black females and a black male. They were in their bunker. And
in Africa. That was in Africa.
Was it Africa?
They were with that Special Forces support unit.
Yeah, that was about a year ago, maybe 2, something like that.
It was a couple years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, come to find out, that was the instrument that was part and play in that. Okay.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, and they found that part and they matched it up with ours, but the other guys, they've already done they've already been through their system. So there's no prosecution.
No double jeopardy. Yeah.
They would have been, prosecuted for murder and everything else, which I think that they should be retried. But there's a lot of espionage going on in our country, and we just keep letting these illegals in and taking it back to their countries. And I also did forget to say that they did sell one to China. Okay.
Oh, dude, we had a president leave half of a stealth helicopter in Pakistan to be given to the Chinese.
Yep.
I haven't heard that, but I believe you.
The one that crashed on the wall in the Bin Laden raid.
Oh yeah.
They were specifically told not to go outside the walls of that compound and burn that tail.
I thought they see
all the drones that we had crash into Iran.
Mm-hmm.
That Obama said, nope, don't go bomb them. He just gave them this tech.
Yeah, well, he gave them pallets of money, remember? And also,
oh yeah.
And to add to that, you've heard that we give Osama bin Laden's boys somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 million a month, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can tell you stories about Afghanistan that would make you want to raid the Pentagon right now.
Oh, so you were in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about Spiderworks, Liberty, and all that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were the ones that built those planes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you know where
I actually had a job as an observer on one of those planes for a while over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
I did a lot of EOIR stuff in Afghanistan. Yeah, I did a lot of EOIR stuff in Afghanistan, both on the ground and in the air.
That's a trip. Yeah, because I got my fingerprints all over those planes.
Yeah.
We had one that was shot down in, oh God, it was so long ago. I can't remember exactly where it was shot down. It was, but it wasn't our fault. It wasn't mechanical. They just, I think they were flying too low and got hit by a ground unit. But that was the only plane that we lost out of all of those. And there was a shitload of those Beechcraft. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Even us as Eric Prince's kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only lost one CASA in Afghanistan in 12 years. That was the one we flew into a fucking mountain in bad weather.
I think
we were doing. The Air Force wouldn't do low altitude parachute drops in support of troops in contact because the Air Force has a rule where they have to physically go and look at every drop zone. Well, you can't do that when you have a team in contact.
Right.
To survey the drop zone. So the SF guys came to us and said, hey, we need this pallet put on a cop.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it from 30 feet off the ground.
That's wild.
Drove the pallet right out of the back of the plane, landed it on top of a Humvee. And that was our job for the next 8 years over there. Because the Air Force wouldn't do it.
Wow. That's a trip. We had a lot of mechanics and people that, from the shop that went out there and stuff, and they were all worried and, and they had to, tell them, say, look, it's okay, you're protected and whatnot. And, dang, man, it looks like there's a lot of people out here.
Well, what they did is that they're a whole bunch more is coming, basically.
Yeah.
Right now, Haiti's ramping up as we speak. I know a guy who traveled there from the States to fix a 500 2 weeks ago.
500 Gulfstream?
No. A helicopter. Defender.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to block it for long.
Yeah.
The retards won't be blocking this street for long. They're coming. There's like 2,000 National Guards there. I don't think these people. I don't know what is this? 50 to 100 people here walking that are headed towards these National Guard. I think the people are gonna get a bit of a rude awakening here.
Well,
what ICE needs to do in Los Angeles, right? Find one of them old empty warehouses, because they've got literally warehouses that are the size of city blocks that are just abandoned and empty. Stage a fake raid at one of these warehouses, right? Get all these protesters to show up. Bring the National Guard in behind them to cordon them off. Use the warehouse to process the illegals in the crowd.
Yeah.
And deport them. And you will never have this problem again.
All they have to do is round them up. I mean, that guy in the middle with a flag right there, that's a disgrace. He should be waving an American flag. What are you doing, dude?
Well, and I get it. Here's the deal: is he has the freedom to hold it and throw it. I also have the freedom to beat his ass for it. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Let's be honest.
See, this is why I am against birthright citizenship.
Oh yeah, me too. I think it's bullshit.
They want their country back, is what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what La Raza is. and Azabla. They literally termed Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and all that we won in 1840, or we actually purchased it off of Mexico in 1840 after the war.
Yes,
After we beat their ass, they want that back as the new Hispanic homeland.
Well,
that's what La Raza is all about.
Well, number one, numero uno, we're going to get rid of that president in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
After all the stuff that
I don't think she's going to last, honestly.
I'll tell you something. After all the stuff that I've seen and heard from our military, our government, I just cannot believe the stuff that we let go through for many years. I mean, we could have stopped a lot of stuff, but we haven't. And it's because I can't say it's the bureaucrats, but that's what it sounds like.
No, it's political will of the leadership.
I mean,
not one law has been passed, right? Because Joe Biden kept saying, to fix this, I need legislation, right?
Right.
That was his mantra the whole time.
Well, we should have taken over Mexico a long time ago. All this shit would have stopped.
No, Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
And you know, we can summer in Canada and winter in Mexico, and they can pick all the crops they want in between.
But if you ask the people that are here from Mexico, they don't want U.S. to have Mexico. They don't want no part of it. They want Mexico to stay as it is, but they want to come up here, though.
And they also want to fly their flag and put their stickers on their cars and be something different other than Americans.
Yeah. So, which I do believe in a certain sense should mean then you should go. If you're not going to back our country, then you need to go. If you're going to put another country first, you need to go. So I don't care if you were even born here. If you are going to stand up for what's going on with illegals coming here, then you should go too.
100% agree. But here's the thing: the white liberals are the worst.
Oh yeah,
the white liberals are the ones starting this shit.
Yeah, because they're Guatemalan Gardner.
No, they were brainwashed in college.
but they're Guatemalan Gardner, and their nanny from El Salvador, and they get all this domestic labor cheap. That's as far as they go into these neighborhoods.
Yeah,
they're not out there in competition with their kids.
And now finally you have the black people going, oh my gosh, we're getting invaded here. They're getting free shit and we're not getting a fucking dime and we're on the streets.
But there's still a problem with that because what they're arguing over is just the free shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're going to want it once the Mexicans are gone.
Well, I tell you what, I don't, at this point, let the blacks and poor whites have their free shit. I don't want this country to get even more populated than what it is because we're running out of land. Here in Dallas, the construction is not, I mean, it's never ending. Never ending. And, the tollway that's in Dallas, North Dallas Tollway, they call it. It's owned by Mexico.
Oh, yeah. And the New Jersey Turnpike's owned by China.
Yeah. Now tell me, how does that work? I don't get
half
it.
our land's owned by China.
Well, think about that drone attack that just happened. That Ukraine set out against Russia, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Now, have you ever seen the cluster of farmland that the Chinese have bought around American military bases? Look up that map.
Yeah,
I heard about it, but what worries me, even, of course, I'm in the area. What we have is Islam. They built a huge facility next to Plano's Sheriff's Department. That's where they do all the training and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Surrounding counties. I mean, literally next door to it. They can see all their training, all that stuff. With the facility there.
Yep.
And
look at Islamabirds.
Yeah.
And the neighborhoods like them around the country.
Dallas is ate up with Dallas Fort Worth. They moved in. They're taking over. So what's going to happen is you're going to see probably a three-way fight between the blacks, Islam people, and the Hispanics.
You'll get capitulation.
Yeah, I believe that too. I mean, it's
already being done in the prison system.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
With the black population and the Muslims in the prison system, they've had a very successful recruitment campaign in the prison systems since the 60s.
Yeah.
And these extremist groups now, right? Like the Moorish Americans, what they call themselves, the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
You got the black Israelites.
Yeah.
These are violent groups.
Yeah.
You ever hear the left talk about that study that says right-wing terror is the problem in America? It's the major problem.
Yeah.
All right. If you read the forward of that study, it states in there that the use of right and left wing terms in this study does not apply to American political systems and those terms of right and left wing. Because what right and left wing means in those studies is anti-government versus pro-government. Right?
Look at this.
So the Dallas attack from the black separatists that killed 6 police officers was right-wing violence in that study. And technically, it's correct.
Here's a map of China.
But I've never seen anybody point that out.
We'll get back to that in just a second. We'll check this map out. So this is the national Chinese-owned farmland in America.
Yep.
This is crazy.
Court Cavos. That's got to be, man.
That's Fort Hood. That's Fort Hood.
Oh no! Wait a minute. It is in Texas. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what used to be Fort Hood.
Oh. Right next to a military base? Holy shit.
Look at Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg.
And Norfolk. Now Fort Liberty, but now Fort Bragg again. Right?
Yeah.
That's the head of our special forces. Look down here at MacDill and Patrick.
Yeah, in Florida.
Look at Hill Air Force.
Look at Yuma Proving Ground. Look at Yuma Proving Ground. Which is where we do all our testing.
Yuma's Marine.
No, Yuma's mostly Army testing.
Okay.
It's a DOD base, but it's mostly Army testing.
Well, I was a corpsman in the Marines, and I remember them saying, "I don't want to go to Yuma, man." No.
Oh yeah. Everybody does that's where they do all their long range testing.
Gotcha.
Everybody, the Navy, everybody.
But
look, Fort Irwin. That's where we do NTC.
Where's that at? Irwin,
California.
Look at California, though.
California.
Look at how much of California they own.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I mean, it's covered. They're clear over here. I mean, it's all the way down. Let me see if I can.
And I guarantee you follow that from the northern port of California there, right? I guarantee there's a highway system in every bit of that.
Yeah.
Leading to Fort Irwin, which is made to house division level players for military games.
And look at how it goes right from the coast. Look at how many spots they have straight from the coast right to Fort Irwin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's your base camp. That's your base camp when you come into the Chinese-owned port.
And then you have Fort Lewis at the very top left. They're coming in right up there. So what about this weather balloon? What's your opinion on that?
Why launch a nuke EMP when you can weather balloon in one that you can steer to take out specific targets instead of whole grids.
And why did the Biden? I'd like to know why the Biden administration just let it cruise on through America.
Because they have nobody with any fucking intelligence. Excuse my language. With any intelligence.
Yeah,
their military leaders are focused on DEI and gender rather than warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is, and either that or the people that are there that are pointing this out, they're just not being listened to, which I don't put it past them for that either.
Mm-hmm. Now you take this map and you look at the Islamic compounds in America. Oh my gosh!
And they're probably very similar.
They probably are very similar. Yeah.
They've already taken Michigan and Minnesota.
Yes, they have taken Minnesota. Yeah, Tlaib, the Congresswoman Tlaib. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember
and the other Omar chick that married her brother, which should be another active immigration investigation.
I'm sure they're digging into that. You know, Obama's the one that planted them, right?
Oh, and who planted Obama? Because he was manufactured. He was sent to Chicago to learn how to be black because he grew up in the mean streets of Maui, Hawaii, in a mansion.
Yeah. Well, I also heard that he was part of the Weather Underground.
No, his one of his mentors was Bill Ayers.
Who was an instructor here in the United States, instructor in college, right? Bill Ayers.
Yeah, he was a professor in University of Chicago.
Well, supposedly,
who was wanted for bombings of police stations and military recruit stations back during Vietnam.
Well, from what I understand, from what I read, Barry Soros at that time was part of that. And they bombed a building and they killed a baby, and none of the Democrats did anything about it.
Well, I don't doubt it.
Didn't even try to investigate where the fight was coming, and it was all
they focused on they focused on the small number of and literally you can count them on your hand abortion clinic bombers instead.
Yeah, well that's what Obama was just a damn protester. And this is what he brought to us, the BLM, all this stuff, Antifa. He made Antifa. It's crazy, how one person can turn this country around, and we're seeing the results right now years later.
Well, when you say you want to fundamentally transform a country, those are very powerful words.
Yeah.
In other words, you want to dismantle it.
Yeah, well, they want it to be socialist.
Exactly. And Obamacare was designed to force the healthcare system into failure. So you would have to accept single payer.
Right.
And it all hinged on that fine. If you didn't carry healthcare, you were to pay a $1,000 fine every year. Tax, they called it.
Mm-hmm. I had to do that. I didn't carry insurance. In fact, this year is the first year that I got health care. Started in last January 1st, actually.
Yeah.
3 years before that, I didn't have health care because I saved $8,000 because I had to live on it.
Yeah.
But before that, years ago, 1 year I did have to pay a penalty.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that first year until the court said, no, you can't do that to people. It's an illegal tax.
Unbelievable.
Check this out. This is all the foreign land owned by country. So,
yep.
Dude.
Oh, I can show you where the Chinese are growing weed in Maine in mass.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the properties were sold to them by the governor's brother.
Yeah.
He brokered most of the deals. Because all of a sudden, the electric company up there started getting service requests to put 40 amp service into fucking houses.
Yeah. Unfucking believable. Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy. I can't believe. I mean, if you look at it, look, there's barely any white. That's the white is what the U.S. citizens own.
Yeah. You see that last sliver of yellow there on the western part of the state? I actually own property there still.
Which state?
Maine.
Oh.
21% of the state's owned by foreign investors.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what's up there? It's all farmland and forests in that northern part.
It's a gateway.
The fact that there's so much colored, that's scary. Because,
yeah.
I mean, it just shows you that we don't hardly own any land. This has to change. I don't care if they give them back the money at fair market value. I don't give a shit how they do it, but we have to get our land back.
Oh yeah. Well, we actually just need to tax foreign land at 100% every year. 100% of its value every year. That forces them. That forces them to sell it or surrender it.
Yeah.
And you tell them you're going to do this 3 and 4 years out. So they have a chance to put it on the market and get fair market value. But once that date drops, you're getting a bill for the entire value of the land. Every year. If you want to keep it. Let's see how bad you want to keep it.
Either that or just strike the certain countries that can't buy it. But I mean, it wasn't supposed to be this way. It really wasn't.
No, but this is them. They've used our laws against us. And they've used technical decisions by the courts.
Right. No country should buy any land in the United States. Individuals, yes, if they're legal. Yeah.
But even liberal California voted down gay marriage twice. It was only a technical Supreme Court decision that approved it. Liberal California turned it down twice by a pretty big majority.
That must have been a long time ago.
It's in the last 20 years, both votes.
Well, it ain't that long ago, but
nope, it ain't.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not up to snuff with California. I don't know. I know nothing about that shit.
Oh, it's been going downhill for decades. It's just like, and the problem is, right? What happened to California, Washington State, Oregon, and Colorado will happen to Texas. It's just a matter of time. Because it's a demographics fight. When you look at voting blocks, it's just a demographics fight. New York will never elect another Giuliani, right? Baltimore will never elect a mayor that will turn that city around.
Unless shit really goes down bad. We'll go, okay.
Detroit ain't done it. Detroit's been going down for 50 years, and it ain't done it yet.
Yeah.
And it never will.
You're right. I've got a friend that I call him a friend. We're friends here on YouTube and stuff. He's from Detroit, and he blames everybody but the people that fucked it up.
Yep.
And
it's just like, while there'll never be a new car plant in a state that doesn't have right to work laws. They'll never build another car plant in Ohio.
He didn't even know that he's a white dude. I'm not going to say he thinks he's black, but he's surrounded, and
he's culturally black. He's culturally black.
Culturally black.
Yeah.
So he he didn't believe me when I said that black babies are the number one abortion babies. It's not white, it's black.
Yeah.
And he was on panel with me, and I brought it up on the screen and showed him the percentage straight from the fucking, excuse my language, straight from the government. And he finally said, well, okay, well, that's old, And I said, well, when the next one comes up, I'll show you, but there's the number right there, and it blew his mind.
Yeah.
He's so into, his surrounding areas, he doesn't understand what's going, there is life outside of Detroit. You know what I mean, buddy? I mean, you got to look around what's on the outside and think of it as, we're all together as one instead of just your little plant you have there,
Oh, no. The people that live in these cities, even the white people that live in these cities,
yeah,
they live in these bubbles and they just assume that everywhere else in the country is just like where they live.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Exactly.
They have Stockholm syndrome for their cities.
Well, that's what blows me about the northeast part of the United States. Only those people vote for, what's the guy's name that says Oligard all the time? Sanders?
Oh, Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders, yeah. They're the only ones that really vote for him.
But because the problems that exist in the rest of the country don't exist in Vermont, for the most part.
Exactly. They don't see what we see down here in Texas.
Exactly. And then they've never left those areas. And they'll go to New York City and see Broadway. They'll go to D.C. and stay around the monuments, but they'll never go into D.C. If they go to Baltimore, they hang around the harbor. They don't go into Baltimore. If they go to Philly, they go to see the Liberty Bell and then, take an Uber to their protected hotel outside the city limits.
Yeah. Yes, chat. I don't want to bring a name up, but yes, chat. African-American babies are the number one aborted baby. Right? Yeah. It's number one. That it's documented. It's down. Look it up. So.
It's not a lie, it's the truth. But see but that's also the problem, right? If you say that, you're automatically branded a racist, right? Even though it's true.
Yeah.
You're automatically branded a racist.
Automatically, yeah. If
you're doxxed, you're fired from your job, and all that. And that's the problem, because if you cannot tell the truth about a problem, you'll never be able to solve the actual problem.
Exactly.
Because you're just throwing darts at a dartboard with your eyes closed. And every dart is money.
Right.
Because they always talk about the inner cities being the underserved areas, right? And the underserved people. No, they're overserved. If you put the resources into Appalachia that you put into the youth, just the youth centers in these major cities, you'd revitalize Appalachia.
I believe it. I'm reading some of the comments here. Josh has never seen Selena, apparently. I don't know what that means, but I know who Selena is.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, it's, and the simple fact that look at the FBI numbers, right? They got to 2019, and it finally got to where they couldn't hide the numbers anymore. So in 2020, they just stopped collecting info.
That's wild.
With COVID. And then restructured the whole thing.
America Reset, right?
Yep.
The Great American Reset.
Yep. And you'll never be able to tackle crime until you can tell the truth about it. I hear people blame Reagan for closing the asylums, but you should actually blame what's his name? Geraldo Rivera.
Oh yeah.
Because in 72, he went into 3 snake pit asylums in New York and uncovered it. And that started the train rolling with the ACLU. And it was once again a technical ruling at the court that once those patients in the asylums were chemically stabilized, they had to be released. They could no longer be held against their will. And those asylums were forced to literally open their doors one day and let those people out on the street, which is where you get most of the homeless people today, not only from the later generations of the people who were actually let loose, but their descendants who have openly bred in free society with other people that have their same problems.
Right.
And they've created an entire class in America of people that are guaranteed not to be able to function in society, pretty much.
Aviona Rising here says, my opinions on immigration are if you can get here illegally, then do it. Work for it, because that means what just cut up.
So if as long as they can pay the coyotes,
Avalonia Rising. I mean, that's not the way we do it here, man. I mean, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
I think she said it screwed up. That's not what I think that's not what she meant.
You get here illegally, then do it. Work for it, because that means you'll work for it when you get here. Okay. There's a lot of ifs about that, okay? They've been here for a while.
I think she's explaining herself. Here we go. Yeah, I don't think she actually means that. I think she means make them work for it
legally.
Yeah,
if you can get
legally,
here
yes.
legally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that.
Oh yeah, I've got nothing against legal immigration as long as it's for a shortage that we have to fill a current shortage.
But at the same time,
should be temporary work visas.
She's saying if you can get here illegally.
But she just corrected that, Cowboy.
She just corrected herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she said she was saying she meant legally. Then do it.
Yeah.
Work for it, because that means you'll work for it when you get here. If you work for it legally, you'll work for it when you get here.
Yeah.
I see exactly what she's saying. Yep.
Now her voice detect screwed her.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate voice text. It always it betrays me all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's because I don't talk right. Okay, Josh, be good, or I'm gonna have to kick you in the balls. Knock it off.
But yeah, we have the Department of Labor every year publishes the list of the top 10 jobs we need the most in the country. And that's who we should go to for immigration first. But it also needs to be a process where they come over here on a temporary visa, just like, first.
This a visa.
And if they stay out of trouble and they follow the rules, then they get a chance to apply. You know what I mean?
It's way overabused, man.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Once they get here, they don't go back.
Yeah.
They run after the visa has ran out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I want
the
to get
problem
to the point where ICE agents are so bored.
What's the latest?
When they get an outbound flight notification that somebody didn't get on a flight, they immediately leave the office and go round that person up.
What was the latest example on visa overstay? Colorado?
Colorado, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if that's not proof, I mean, look, this is ridiculous. They got to stop that shit.
Mm-hmm. And what does the left say?
Oh, we're racist.
Especially with gun control, right? Well, if it just saves one.
Yeah.
They don't have that same view on immigration.
Iron Wolf, what's up, man?
Hey, Neil.
Niels. That's Niels. Niels, Skull? Skull Niels? No? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break. I have to go to the
I
restroom.
actually have to get off here, and it's already. I've been on for 2 hours. I was just doing a test stream, and it ended up being over 2 hours, so we did good.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. I was glad to see you come up today.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
very
we'll be.
much, Gutters.
Yeah.
May, good, damn glad to talk to you. So.
Yeah.
Glad to meet you guys. I mean,
you bet. Hey, look, Mayo, subscribe to my channel. I love talking politics and stuff. It's kind of dramatic right now, but I'm trying to get to the, politics side of it. But
oh, no problem. No problem.
Hit that link, man. I'm not in for it for the money. I know some people are, but that's not me. I just like talking shit. So.
And if you could, in the private chat over here, just put a link to your channel.
Okay. I'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
Gutters Pub, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. You're always welcome here.
All right.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday.
You too.
All right. Oh, and Cowboy, will you go over and put your link in regular chat too?
Yeah, give me just a second. Let me get there.
That's fine. I can, slowly shut it down and not, you'll still have time to put it in. There's people asking for your link, so.
Okay.
I do not have a channel. I just have a page, but I'll put that in there if everybody wants.
Okay.
That's usually how it starts, right there.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a channel. I just have a page. No, you have a channel. You just.
I don't broadcast on it. Yeah, exactly.
Stream from it. Yep, that's all. Or post videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just have 2 videos, drone videos from my property in Maine on there. So on this channel. So
Mr. Bobby Buccolino, he just subbed up to somebody. And always network and in whatever way you can over in chat. It's absolutely fine. Can somebody? No, actually, let me see.
I believe that's it. If it's not, just look up Homegrown Cowboy. I'll pop right up. So
I'm gonna give you a wrench. So, Mayo, when I give you a wrench, what it is basically it's just so that you can go and click on other people's names, and you can go to their channels and
okay, great.
And sub up to their stuff or look at their stuff. So
great.
I like it because you're protected. That's mine.
Yeah. I won't. Yeah, I will not abuse mod powers.
Right.
Yeah. I have specific mods that they know who they are, and I use those ones as mods. But the rest of them, I always like to just give you guys a wrench so you can.
Okay. Yep. No problem.
Maneuver around a little easier.
Well, yeah, that'll allow me to post links too. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your Sunday, and we will talk to y'all later.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Snappers on the roof, guys. No way. Oh my gosh, guys.
All right, everybody. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. Thanks for coming and helping me with testing out this whole deal. I'm hoping that I can. I've been kind of working. Niels, next time, man, I'll send you a link. You just kind of came in late. I am basically testing this out because I really want LW. I want to kind of try to push him to do streams, but I kind of want to make sure I know what I'm talking about when I tell him to go do it. So, anyways, thank you all for coming and hanging out. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Avon. You're gonna be Avon from here on out. Sorry, Annie. It's the first when I see it. That's just what I go with. So I'm sure it's pronounced completely different, but everybody gets their own name from me, and yours is now Avon. But thanks for coming in and hanging out. I'm so glad you did. Yeah, sub up to everybody and come back next time and hang out with us. And all of the rest of you too. Thanks so much. And I will talk to y'all later, and I have to give fools just a little
bit of fun. Y'all have a great Sunday.
All right. Bye.
Step right up, got tickets on sale. In today's episode, trains coming off the rails. Watch it all burn from the screen on your phone. But don't you worry about it, you're safe at home. Every talking head will tell you everything's fine. It's the blind leading the blind. Yeah, it's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on. Well, the world's strongest man just dropped the ball, and the tent's caving in from the weight of it all. Yeah, the lion's out the cage, puppets in a rage, and the ringleader's on parade. It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Come on! Witness the greatest show on earth! Restore the flame!
It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through